Hey guys, it's Jesse.
And Trevor.
And here's yet another battle report from Team Stomping Grounds.
Yep.
So today we have a Demons Screamer Star versus a new and revised Centurion Star. Now, this Centurion Star I do believe was used in 7 Loth, was it not?
Yes, definitely.
So this is something that you might expect to see out of like the LVO-esque area and all. So there's definitely a problem with the Centurion Star as it stands. It is it doesn't seem to have enough dice to properly buff up and gate against psychic heavy armies. What do you think?
It has the dice it needs against non-psychic armies to do basically the minimum of what it has to do. So against your Taus, your Necrons, it's going to do fine. The list I brought here has 20 base warp dice. So he's going to have some issues. He's going to have to commit a lot of dice to his key spells.
And it really comes down to knowing your key spells.
Yep.
So in this particular mission, it is multiple objectives, a Bay Area open mission. Maelstrom objectives are in play. The main game objectives are in play. It looks to be Vanguard Strike deployment.
Yeah, this is Emperor's Will, Mission 1, Vanguard Strike. I believe the two white ones, so top left, bottom right, are the Emperor's Will ones. The two black ones, which are basically in the middle, vertical of each other, are the two Maelstrom objectives.
So we had the Centurions deploying off in the corner behind the one, and
it's a pretty big hill. It basically is a line of sight blocker.
I'm a firm believer in null deploying like that against an army that has a lot of ability to counteract or nab you, really like cripple you. But against demons, you don't have that ability. So I feel like null deploying like that is kind of a wrong play, because what it does is it forces you to have to throw a dice in the gate in order to get into the game. And if your gate gets denied once or twice throughout the course of the game, well, now you're not doing anything.
Yeah, my thought process here, my deployment's about to come up, is basically protect Fate Weaver, keep Fate Weaver from getting killed by gate by deploying all around, leaving him no space to really do anything there. You see Fate Weaver's all the way back in the corner. And then I'm not really worried about anything else. This deployment just kind of doesn't allow him to really do anything for the first 2 turns.
Yeah, so he null deployed himself.
Yep. And
then you null deployed him, and you effectively say, well, now you have to beat me off your gate rolls. Which I don't think is a position as a Centurion Star player that you want to put yourself in, because if you have to throw gate at a reasonable dice level here to get it off against these psychic heavy armies, that means you're not doing anything else.
Yeah, so my thought process here, I'm trying to stop Fate Weaver from dying should things go wrong, but I'm very confident that if I just deploy all my warp charges, I should be able to deny gate, which is really the only spell I care about.
So everything else is in reserve for Jack. Jack has rhinos in reserve for his troops. I believe he also has a drop pod. Or does he not have a drop pod in this?
He just has more rhinos in this
Okay,
list.
so they're all rhino based? Okay. So right now we're looking at the game, measuring it out. Everything is sitting in the back. Screamer Star's in the back. The
Fate Weaver and
Be'lakor. Now, are you worried about him possibly throwing all of his dice in the gate and getting first blown off like your pink cars?
Yes. Certainly crossed my mind, but at this point, I know if he gates forward, I've played this matchup to death. If he gates forward close enough to kill the pink horrors, I'm going to charge him instantly with the Screamers, and my game plan from then on is just tie up that star for the rest of the game with my star, and I'm more than confident that the rest of my army can take the rest of his. So I'm just measuring everything out here, just making sure of everything. Checking out that the dogs are able to scout and then turn 1 move on to that objective should I get that Maelstrom. And the dogs are great against this kind of thing too, because they get to scout forward and add extra range that he can't deep strike into.
And there is a big footprint. How many dogs is it?
16, I believe.
16, and they're all bike bases. Yeah, it's a huge footprint. I see. I like how you're deploying them along the line here.
Yeah.
Sideways to maximize how many guys you can get forward by basically putting as many guys as possible along there and then squeezing them into the gaps.
Yeah, and if you see him spidering these out here too, it's just to avoid gate. If he scatters, I want as big of a footprint for him to mishap into as possible.
So, I mean, but this is all coming back to by you null deploying as a gate player going first, your opponent counter null deploys. You know, all that's happening is you're saying, okay, you have to beat me off a gate, and sometimes you just can't do it. You know, you cannot reliably cast invisibility. You need 5 dice. Cast prescience, again, 5 dice.
Yep. And these are going to get it off reliably without me having 20-some dice.
Yeah, well, so you need 5 of those. The list is bringing like D6 plus, you know, I believe his variation is bringing D6 plus 16. So you're already using 10 of your 16 dice, and you've gotten 2 spells. Now you need probably 3 dice for perfect timing.
Yep.
So you're now down to D6 plus 3 dice, and now you have to throw, you know, between 3 and probably 7 dice at gate, and you're going to need to throw a lot of dice at gate in order to get it off. But you're not getting anything else. You're not doing sanctuary. You're not doing forewarning. You know, you are only running on minimum buffs, and the whole point of the gate, you know, is the gate is supposed to deliver you there, but you need to know what buffs you need and what buffs you don't. And there's going to be a lot of games where you're going to be playing Centurion, so you're going to go, okay, I don't need to cast perfect timing right here. If I wipe this unit or if I cripple this unit, it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
And, you know, I just need to be in position. I need to have up, you know, prescience, invisibility, and I need to gate. That's all I need to do. Or there's going to be times where you're going to go, I don't really need prescience right now. I just need invisibility to survive and gate. Next turn, I'll be over there. I will cast invisibility again. I'll cast prescience. I'll cast perfect timing. I won't have to worry about gate. I'll be able to do my thing. And that's like in the Tau matchup. Oh, okay, I don't need prescience. You know, 5 Centurions is probably going to give whatever it shoots at anyway, even without the rerolls. And when you're dealing with big monsters, it's pretty good.
You just saw here that Jack just asked me if I wanted to try and seize, and I just pointed at the computer and just said, "You better start recording," because I'm not going to attempt to seize here at all. I know exactly what I want to do here. I know what he's going to do to counter it, or what he's going to do on turn 1, and so I'm confident with what I'm going to be doing.
So you know, you turn around. You know, you set yourself, and that's what makes the Centurions are a much harder army to play now than they were 2 months ago before the Grey Knight bug. Because before you were bringing D6 plus 23 dice and you were just doing whatever you wanted. And demons were actually a pretty good matchup, even though they counteracted the main punch of the Centurions by, you know, not having armor saves. They were still a really good matchup because you were able to do whatever the hell you wanted in the second phase.
Wait a second. Is this the game that you convinced me, or was it TJ to try and seize anyway?
I wasn't even here for the game.
Okay, it must have been TJ, because there's no reason for me to seize here. I think somebody just called me a woman or something for not trying it. Just happened to accidentally get it anyway.
So you YOLO'd?
Yeah.
Trevor Rowe, the king of, I probably shouldn't do this, but hey, let's YOLO and do it anyway.
Yeah.
How many games does that usually win you?
None. But yeah, so contrary to what I just said, if you ever play this in a tournament, do not take turn 1 against this. Just let him try and gate. Take the bottom of turn. You'll be plenty happy with your life.
Because you just gave him the advantage on Malsham.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was strictly a following the peanut gallery yelling at me. So, but yeah, it's a do as I say, not as I do kind of moment. But still here, you see that this movement, it's all just, yeah, here we go.
So you got your flyers in the air now, so they're relatively safe. You're going to be able to...
It does require him to get an extra spell off now, because I'm going to be casting Shrouding, which gives Fate Weaver that 2-up rerollable cover save if I decide to jink. So now he has to get off
perfect timing.
Gate. He has to get off perfect timing. He has to get off prescience because they're in the air. And frankly, to not just lose the entire star immediately, he has to get off invisibility. That's 4 spells. He doesn't have enough dice to do it. So I still feel safe now that I'm in the air with Shrouded to just move up and do
So,
this.
I mean, you spawn some Plague Bear or some Plague Drones.
Yep.
You turbo boosted the Screamer Star up. He does still get the first blood off of gating over and killing the pink cards, but, you know...
There's a lot of bouncing going on.
Yeah, I believe this is when I started playing Cascada and you started dancing.
Oh, yes. I knew you were there.
I was there, but I wasn't there for the start of the game.
Okay.
I put on the Cascada radio station, and you started dancing, and then it kind of, when it sped up a little bit, like I did the movement face, it just looked like you're having a seizure.
But yeah, so Jack got rolled for gate. I threw all of my dice at gate. I think after he rolled, it was like 24 dice. I got 3 denies. He got it off on 4, and I actually even used a Fate Weaver reroll to try and get that 4th one to deny gate. Ended up failing. He got the kill a unit thing for both Maelstroms, so that got him First Blood and 2 Maelstroms. So it was
Well,
definitely...
I would only get him 1 Maelstrom.
3 and 4 are both kill a unit.
Yes, but you have to kill a unit for each one.
Really?
Yeah, if you read the mission packet.
How about that? More to take away.
Do you know what the RTFC means?
Yeah.
Is that also works not only in Magic the Gathering, but it works in Warhammer
Well,
when you
go,
read
guys.
the packet.
Read the rules.
So by having it, he only got 1 Maelstrom because if you have double kill a unit, you have to actually kill 2 units. Killing 1 unit doesn't count for both. They specifically say that in the BAO
There you go,
packet.
guys. Read the packet.
But regardless, I mean, to put him in this position of, now the center over there, you charge it. Now this is the one of the moves I can't even begin to fathom why he would make this move. So he drove a Rhino all the way in.
Yes.
Right by the Plague Drones. And then left it so that he was using the board edge to allow you to get a surround off.
Yeah.
And then kill the entire unit inside.
I don't know if maybe he didn't think my 3 units would get a full surround off.
Well, they wouldn't if he was...
Yeah.
If he was, an inch or 2 inches or 3 inches off the board edge, you just wouldn't be able to because you're only 3 models. You can't completely surround that Rhino. But
Yeah.
when he uses the board edge as a tool to increase your surround, it's huge. Now I also noticed you just look like glided Be'lakor up.
Yeah, Be'lakor's on the ground now.
That's a little risky. Why did you choose that? Or why is Be'lakor on the ground there? That seems like a risky play for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he can all in gate out and try to shoot him. Is shrouded up at least. Well, he's naturally shrouded.
Yeah, Be'lakor's naturally shrouded. He's in the terrain. He can still jank always for a 2-up cover save. So he has to get off perfect time. He has to get off gate. And he has to throw basically all of his dice in the gate to get it off.
Now, luckily for him, you failed to actually kill the Rhino. You only caused 2 whole points.
Yeah.
Which was lucky. I mean, he put himself in a poor position. You also did not move entirely the way that you should have. With that movement, you had the dice roll to get in front, but you just kind of blocked it off. Wow, he just bullied your model there.
He got some words for that move. It was all in good fun though, no problem. By the way, what else is going on the bottom half of this map right now is there's a second unit of Plague Drones that are in the bottom middle holding that Maelstrom objective. The dogs are collapsing towards the right hand side. You see a small unit over there. I believe it was a tactical squad. It might have been Stern Guard.
No, he didn't have any Stern Guard, so yeah, it's all tacticals.
So the dogs are moving over there. Fate Weaver just shot them. I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do going into this game. I have my Screamers in there. They're tying up the scents. There's enough going on elsewhere that I can afford to land Be'lakor and finish that combat up faster. But yeah, I'm playing this game and it's going exactly how I want it to go.
No.
Jack is just not throwing the dice he needs to get out of that combat with Gate, and so he's just letting my army that's a much cheaper Death Star, so I have a lot more going on, clean up these tactical squads that aren't really doing anything.
Yeah. Now, one of the big things that happened here, he chose not to gate because you did fail Grim.
Mm-hmm.
But when you failed Grim, you immediately invisibility then went, okay, well, I'm still super durable because now you're hitting me on 6s, and all you had to do was stop pressuring to that point.
Yeah, this is why I keep Be'lakor. You saw him, he was originally very centered in the table, because the dogs and the Screamers both benefit hugely from the things that he can offer, like invisibility. So here, I finally failed Grim after probably 2 rounds of combat, I believe it was. And now Be'lakor's there, saves the day, throws down invisibility so that I don't lose the entire Screamer squad. And
so here's some more moves here. So his Rhino's coming in on the bottom.
Yeah.
And his Rhino's coming in right in between 3 Plague Drones and a Herald. He's just coming in there. So 4
and more dogs. I
4
did
big
summon more
bases.
dogs.
Yeah, and there's 5 more dogs here. So he's basically throwing this rhino away. And then this other rhino comes in over here next to these dogs, and he doesn't bother getting out the units or anything like that. So he now has a rhino in close combat there.
Oh, big turn for me, by the way. Bellicor came in and cleaned up Drago. So there goes Gate.
So now that that unit is effectively knocked out of this game because you are relying on Gate off of one character. But real important here is, we went back to this. So he's now down troops. I don't understand why he is actually just throwing away these rhino chassis, because what that's allowing you to do is glance it out, and then you get 3 kill points and 3 score units for 1.
I don't know if at this point he's kind of mentally wiped after realizing that he's basically lost the game now that his Death Star is there. I'm just kind of running cleanup. But I definitely would have liked bringing these all in on the left-hand side, at best maybe left of center. Just anywhere on the right half of this board near the dogs, the drones, the other dogs. It just feels
like you're throwing it away. You're throwing your chances of possibly pulling out. So this is a big thing. I can understand, looking at it, like I look at the game up to this level and I go, okay, Jack's not winning this game. But this is a very important thing to remember. You're playing in a battle point mission. You're playing in a battle point tournament where not necessarily the guy that wins the tournament might not be undefeated, just because he could be playing a 6-1 and lose, and they could both end 7-1, things like that. So it's very, very, very important when you're playing a battle point mission, and the more competitive gamers, myself included, typically like the battle points because it allows you to come back from a close loss and still win and still compete. So it's important to play to your outs, and throwing away units just doesn't do that. But at the end of the game here, I mean, it basically comes down to Trevor, you end up tabling him.
Yeah.
And that basically, wraps up. And the reason it comes down to that is because he threw away 6 or 9 scoring units, rather, with all of his tactical squads.
Like we've said before, for this mission packet in particular, if you get First Blood, you can reliably just go for the primary. And him just throwing away these rhinos just made sure that he couldn't do that. Remember, the primary is Emperor's Will. There's only 2 objectives. Objective secured tanks. They just tank shock drive up on top of it. If he had sent, let's say, 3 up the left-hand side, he could have taken my objective. There's just pink horrors back there. And then if he throws 1 just off center, he has enough time to get it over there and hopefully tank shock my dogs off the other objective, because, again, in the very beginning, I listened to the peanut gallery and tried to seize.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's it, guys. You can go ahead, click down below to like, subscribe, and thanks for following.
Thank you.